He who has learned to disagree without being disagreeable has discovered the most valuable secret of negotiation. What if I told you that the same tactics used to talk down terrorists and kidnappers could help you land a raise, close a six-figure business deal, or even win an argument with your spouse without sleeping on the couch? Sounds dramatic. But that's exactly what Chris Voss, former FBI hostage negotiator, reveals in his best-selling book, Never Split the Difference, co-written with Tal Raz. And today we're going deep. By the end of this video, you won't just understand the key lessons from this book. You'll know how to apply them immediately in your daily life. Let's begin. Who is Chris Voss and why should you listen? Chris Voss spent over 2 decades at the FBI. Not behind a desk. Not writing reports. He was the lead international hostage negotiator. Imagine this: a phone rings. On the other end, a kidnapper. Someone's life hangs in the balance. Every word you say could either save that life or end it. That was Voss's daily reality. And what he discovered under extreme pressure shattered conventional business wisdom. Negotiation is not about logic. It's not about splitting the difference. It's not about meeting halfway. Negotiation is about emotion. It's about perception. It's about influence. And most importantly, it's about making the other person feel heard. Lesson 1: Tactical empathy. Let's clear something up. Empathy is not weakness. It is not agreeing. It is not surrendering. Voss calls it tactical empathy. It means deliberately understanding the emotions and perspective of the other person and letting them know you understand. In one hostage situation in Brooklyn, a bank robber was trapped inside with hostages. Tension was rising. Police were ready. Weapons drawn. Instead of issuing threats, Voss calmly said, "It seems like you're worried about being cornered." That sentence changed everything. Why? Because the robber felt understood. And when people feel understood, they calm down. This technique is called labeling, naming the emotion you observe. Sounds like you're frustrated. It seems like you feel this isn't fair. It looks like you're under a lot of pressure. Notice something? You're not agreeing. You're acknowledging. In your life, this might look like, it sounds like you're overwhelmed with this deadline. It seems like budget cuts are a real concern. When someone feels heard, their defenses drop. And when defenses drop, influence begins. Lesson 2: Mirroring. The simple psychological trick. Here's a technique so simple it feels almost silly. Mirroring. Just repeat the last few words someone said with a curious tone. If they say, "This deadline is impossible," you respond, "Impossible," and then stay silent. Silence is powerful. What happens next? They explain more. They reveal more. They clarify their true concerns. Voss used mirroring during a kidnapping case in Haiti. By repeating the kidnappers' phrases and staying calm, he encouraged them to talk. And the more they talked, the more information he gathered. Information is leverage. In everyday life, mirroring works in job interviews, sales calls, and even relationships. Spouse: you never listen. You never listen? Now they expand. And instead of arguing, you're gathering understanding. Mirroring builds connection fast. It signals, "I'm paying attention." And attention is rare in today's world. Lesson 3: The power of no. Most people chase yes. Can we agree? Do you want this? Is that okay? Voss says chasing yes is a mistake. Why? Because yes can be fake. It can be rushed. It can be a polite escape. But no? No is honest. No makes people feel safe. When someone says no, they feel in control. And people make better decisions when they feel in control. Instead of asking, "Do you have a few minutes to talk?" ask, "Is this a bad time?" Now they're likely to say, "No, it's fine. You just got an engagement," without pressure. If your boss says no to a raise, don't panic. Instead ask, "What would need to happen for this to work?" Now the conversation shifts from rejection to problem solving. No isn't the end. It's the beginning. Lesson 4: Calibrated questions. This might be the most powerful tool in the book. Calibrated questions. These are open-ended how and what questions designed to make the other person solve your problem. Instead of, "Can you lower the price?" Try, "How am I supposed to do that?" Notice the difference? You're not attacking. You're inviting collaboration. In hostage situations, Voss would ask, "How do I know the hostages are safe? What's the best way for us to move forward?" Criminals felt respected. They felt heard. And they felt in control. But strategically, Voss was guiding them toward surrender. In business, calibrated questions work the same way. Client, "That's our final price." You, "How can we make this work within our budget?" Now they're thinking. They're negotiating against themselves. And you remain calm, curious, and in control. Lesson 5. The Ackerman Bargaining Method. Now we get tactical. The Ackerman model is Voss's structured bargaining system. Here's how it works. Step 1. Set your target price. Step 2. Start at 65% of that number. Step 3. Increase in small calculated increments. 85%, 95%, 100%. Step 4. Use empathy between each offer. Step 5. End with an odd number, like $37,850 instead of $38,000. Why odd numbers? They signal calculation, precision, finality. During ransom negotiations, this method reduced payouts significantly, while making kidnappers feel like they had squeezed every dollar possible. In your life? Negotiating a car, freelance contracts, salary discussions. Structure beats emotion. Lesson 6. Black Swan Theory. Now we reach the most fascinating concept in the book. Black swans. These are hidden pieces of information, unknown unknowns, that can change the entire negotiation. In one case, Voss discovered that kidnappers urgently needed medical supplies. That single insight shifted the negotiation completely. Instead of arguing over money, they negotiated around medical assistance. Game changed. In your world, a black swan might be a hiring manager who desperately needs to fill a role quickly, a landlord who values stability over higher rent, a client under pressure to hit quarterly targets. When you uncover hidden motivations, leverage appears. But how do you find black swans? By living deeply, by labeling emotions, by asking calibrated questions, by staying curious. Most people talk to persuade. Elite negotiators talk to uncover. Why never split the difference matters. The title itself challenges everything we've been taught. Splitting the difference feels fair. But think about it. If you want $100,000, they offer $60,000. You settle at $80,000. You're underpaid. They're overpaying. Nobody's truly satisfied. Compromise often creates mediocre outcomes. Voss argues that true negotiation is about understanding emotional drivers and crafting outcomes where both sides feel victorious, without unnecessary concessions. And this isn't manipulation. It's emotional intelligence under pressure. Let's bring this home. Next time you ask for a raise, negotiate a contract, resolve conflict in a relationship, handle a difficult client, remember this framework. 1. Lead with empathy. 2. Label emotions. 3. Mirror strategically. 4. Invite no. 5. Ask calibrated how and what questions. 6. Search for black swans. Negotiation isn't a battle. It's a psychological dance. And the calmest person in the room usually wins. What makes Never Split the Difference so powerful is that it isn't theory crafted in a classroom. It was forged in life or death situations. Yet it applies perfectly to everyday conversations. Because whether it's a hostage crisis or a salary discussion, human psychology doesn't change. We all want to feel heard. We all want control. We all act emotionally first and rationally second. So let me ask you, have you ever split the difference and regretted it later? Have you walked away thinking, I should have asked one more question? Maybe now you will. Here at BloomShelf Hub, we break down books that don't just inform, They transform. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to level up their negotiation game. And in the comments, tell me, which tactic are you trying first? Tactical empathy? Mirroring? Or calibrated questions? Because the next negotiation you enter might change everything.